Hello, I'm Jim Tompkins, the CEO of Tompkins International, a supply chain consulting and implementation firm. I am so excited about Alibaba, Amazon, and Walmart. I've been a student of theirs for 10 years, and they continue to push the boundaries. In fact, I believe Alibaba, Amazon, and Walmart are the titans of the business world today. And so I want to get started, but first I have to do a disclaimer to kind of get us started. Nothing in this video is from a client engagement, proprietary information, or privileged information. The entire video is the result of Tompkins International research and is our opinion as to what is reality. I did this video to help you and awaken you. I believe that Amazon, Alibaba, and Walmart have put in place 3 game-changing strategies that will change the way business works. These strategies require your response. You need to respond to what we're saying. This video is your guidebook, your roadmap to answering the question, what are these 3 game-changing strategies that Alibaba, Amazon, and Walmart have done, and how do you prepare a response to them? I think if you respond, you'll have a competitive advantage. If you do not respond, you're going to lose customers, you're going to lose market share, and you're going to lose profitability. So let's get started with these game-changing strategies. So we have 3 game-changing strategies. These are actionable. They're transformational. You might have heard of these before, but it's not clear to me that you understand them enough to really understand why they are game changers. So first, we have Alibaba with cross-border. Then we have Amazon with customer centricity. And then we have Walmart with omni-channel. The approach I want to take with these today is I first want to explain what do we mean by cross-border, what do we mean by customer centricity, and what do we mean by omni-channel. Then we want to talk about what the titans are doing with respect to these 3, and then we want to talk about how do you prepare your response. And so let's begin with the first game-changing strategy. So our first game-changing strategy is to look at cross-border. Cross-border is a funny word because it has a lot of different definitions. It means passing or occurring between countries. It means country to country. But I want to get very specific with 3 types of cross-border so that you really have something to respond to. The first cross-border is cross-border business. So let's say Coca-Cola decides that they want to sell product in Brazil. The way Coca-Cola would do that is they would go to Brazil, they would create a Brazilian corporation, they would buy land, they would build a plant, they would bring in bottling equipment, they would buy delivery equipment, and they would start selling Brazilian Coca-Cola product to Brazilian supermarkets so that the consumer can buy the product Coca-Cola from Brazil. The business has gone to Brazil, and so that would be called cross-border business. Secondly, would be cross-border brand. So let's say Ralph Lauren wants to sell product in Japan, but they don't want to go there and create the whole business environment. And so what they do is they create a distributorship and they create possibly a franchise in Japan to sell Ralph Lauren product. And so Ralph Lauren is not selling in China. It's the distributors and the franchisers, but the product from Ralph Lauren is being sold in Japan. Thirdly is cross-border commerce. Cross-border commerce, let's say, for example, Gap.com, a U.S. website, is selling product. And they're selling products, and some guy from England gets on Gap.com and buys a shirt. And so what then Gap's going to do is send the guy the shirt. And so that is cross-border commerce because it's commerce that has crossed the border. Another example, and in fact the big one we want to talk about today, is what Alibaba has done with Tmall. And so Alibaba, being a marketplace, they don't sell things, they just connect buyers and sellers. So let's say the Gap opens a store on Tmall, and that store offers Gap products. And so now some Chinese lady goes online and wants to buy some product from the Gap, and so what the Gap will sell to the Chinese lady through the marketplace of Tmall. And so what we have is cross-border commerce. And so it's this cross-border commerce that's the new element in the game and that requires your response. So let me explain to you how huge this is by first explaining to you what I call the Chinese perfect storm of Alibaba, and Tmall. So here is my view of the cross-border commerce perfect storm. There are four groups that create this perfect storm. First, the Chinese government, who for years fought cross-border commerce, but 2 years ago saw that by supporting it would result in a way to extend their global influence. So they have been encouraging cross-border commerce by lowering duties and by streamlining customs, and it's really working. Second, the Chinese buyer, who have an income that's much higher due to the rapidly growing middle class that allows them to buy products that they want, but they're not available in China. And so what they do is they turn to the U.S. and to Europe to get the products that are authentic and at good price that they really want. Third, Alibaba, who really understands the value of a broad selection for their customers, who fully support Alibaba doing cross-border commerce. And so they've created Alibaba Pay for payment. They've created Xiniao for logistics efficiency in China, ePass, ShopRunner, and Border-Free for interfacing the logistics in the United States. And lastly, the U.S. sellers who see this as a great vehicle for creating profitable growth. I think the challenge for many companies with cross-border is they don't understand why it's a game changer. Well, the fact of the matter is cross-border business and cross-border brand are not game changers. They've been around for over 100 years. The reason they don't understand cross-border commerce if you're an American is because Americans aren't really focused on cross-border commerce. But when you look to Asia, you say, oh my goodness, the potential is huge. So let me share with you some numbers that will allow you to understand what I mean by huge. These numbers come from Accenture of a detailed study they did, and they first talk about revenue and then customers that are going to be participating in cross-border commerce starting in 2014 and going all the way through 2020. The revenue chart for cross-border commerce shows a compounded annual growth rate from 2014 to 2020 of 27.4%. This is almost double the compounded annual growth rate of all e-commerce, which is 15%. By 2020, this results in a cross-border commerce business that is almost $1 trillion for cross-border commerce, $994 billion on the chart. And it's almost 30%, 29.3%, of all e-commerce in the world. Now, if we turn to look at the customers, we see a similar graph here of the shoppers worldwide that will participate in cross-border commerce. By 2020, 943 million customers will be shopping cross-border commerce. This is 3 times the number of cross-border commerce customers in 2014. This is 44.6% of all e-commerce customers who will be shopping via cross-border commerce. Another interesting fact is that customers who shop via cross-border commerce spend twice as much as customers who only shop domestically. To give you a little more flavor of cross-border commerce, let me share some numbers with you. 25% of all purchases on cross-border commerce come from China. Another 23% come from the rest of Asia. So 48% of cross-border commerce is originated in Asia. Only 18% of cross-border commerce comes from the United States. However, from a selling point of view, 49% of all cross-border commerce is originated in the United States. In year 2020, that'll be $485 billion. And so cross-border commerce is huge for us in America. Now, the reality is a lady gets up in the morning in China and says, how can I work hard so I can buy that American purse? She wants the American purse. How many in America get up in the morning and say, I want to buy a Chinese phone today? It's different. They really understand cross-border commerce in Asia, where we in the United States, we're not so focused on it. But the opportunity is the largest for us here in America. Here's an interesting fact. Let's take a company that is just selling on their website domestically. They're not selling it outside the United States. That's not their goal. Do you know what happens today? on average, 10% of the visits to their website are from people from outside the United States. And even more interestingly, 7% of their sales from the strictly domestic site are being done by customers outside the United States. So even when you're not trying to do cross-border, you're doing cross-border. So you need to respond to cross-border commerce. To start to get an understanding of how you should respond, let's look at the investments, the rewards, and the risks of pursuing cross-border. For cross-border business, it is clear that the investment, risk, and rewards are all high. For cross-border brands, the investment is low, the risk is high, and the rewards are medium. For cross-border commerce, the investment is low, the risk is low, and the rewards are medium. But these factors depend upon the type of firm and their current status. There's no single answer to what is best. And so how do we decide how we want to pursue cross-border? So let's consider a quote from 2011 from Alexander Gordon, the managing director of the Broad Street Capital Group and a trustee of the Princeton Council of World Affairs. For any business in today's world, not expanding internationally is practically a sin. So now, 4 years later, when cross-border has doubled, I think we need to update Mr. Gordon's quote. What I believe we should be saying is any company in the world today who does not do a cross-border feasibility study, they are committing a sin. We really need to do a cross-border feasibility study to understand what should be our strategy for cross-border. It's my view that while we're talking, there's other companies that are going out there and grabbing cross-border share that you're not taking advantage of. You need to respond today. To create your response, here's a series of questions that I think you need to answer. What should be your cross-border strategy? What cross-border strategies have your competitors pursued successfully or unsuccessfully? What are the investments, risks, and rewards of alternative strategies? Where should you do cross-border business, cross-border brand, cross-border commerce, and/or a combination of these? What should be your roadmap for cross-border implementation? How should your supply chain support your cross-border strategy? How to evolve your cross-border capabilities to make them major game changers? This feasibility study should result in a roadmap and a timeline that will provide your response to cross-border. The opportunity here is huge. In fact, your board has been demanding growth, and I believe cross-border will provide that growth that you have been seeking. The second game-changing strategy has also been around for a while, customer centricity. But due to Amazon, you now must respond. Amazon is really doing a full-court press on customer centricity. And like Alibaba on cross-border, you must respond to what is happening. Also, like cross-border, the evolution of customer centricity has been great. And so let me go back to square one and begin with a definition of what I mean by customer centricity. I define customer centricity as a quality of an organization that places the customer at its center, at its core. But in support of this core of the customer are the entities that must support this core, the employees, suppliers, shareholders, and community. Then on the outer ring, the entities that must support the inner ring and the core, things like social responsibility, volunteerism, health and well-being, education, ethical labor practices, responsible sourcing, safety and preparedness, philanthropy, profits, corporate responsibility, sustainability, and the environment. So the core of being customer-centric is the customer, but the other supporting entities to assure true customer focus are equally important. In addition, other important customer-centric views are being customer-driven, where the view is that the customer is an important consideration in all decisions. Having a focus on customer satisfaction, where customer satisfaction is how your customer feels about your performance. providing great customer service. What you do to achieve customer approval. Focus on the customer experience, the level of happiness a customer has in being your customer. Enhancing the customer journey. A customer's long-term loyalty to you, customer trust, and customer well-being. Listening to the voice of the customer. Listening and responding to the desires of your customer. Place a high importance on the conversation with the customer. Interacting with your customer to continuously improve your customer's experience and journey. Focus on the reduction of customer friction. To correctly identify and resolve processes and performances that detract from the customer journey. Amazon's customer centricity strategy is to be obsessed with the customer. And so leaders are encouraged to start with the customer and think backwards. Amazon is focusing on earning and keeping the trust of their customers. Because of this, Amazon is continuously improving the 4 components of what the customer desires. These 4 components are selection, price, convenience, and experience. When asked about these 4, Jeff Bezos says price, cheaper, convenience, faster, selection, more, experience, delight the customer with no friction. So to understand Amazon's obsession with customer centricity, let's look at these 4. First of all, selection. Some days, Amazon creates 100,000 new items that they're going to sell. The average day, they bring about 75,000 new items they're going to sell. The actual numbers of items that Amazon has to sell is a mystery. It's someplace between 300 million and 500 million items that they offer you as a selection. Their selection is awesome. In fact, in the book, The Everything Store, Brad Stone, the author, he talks about Amazon doing everything from a selection point of view. This is verified by Jeff Bezos back in year 2000 when he introduced the Amazon logo. The Amazon logo, some people think has a smile face or a curved arrow on it. No, let's look at it. What we see is Jeff is telling us Amazon offers everything from A to Z. Secondly, experience. Amazon in survey after survey comes up number 1 in experience. People love the experience of shopping with Amazon. Third, with convenience. Amazon is already setting the pace that everyone is trying to follow, 2-day delivery. But what Amazon is about 16 months away from is being able to offer same-day delivery in the 50 top cities of the nation, next-day delivery in the next 50 largest cities in the nation, and then 2-day delivery in rural. And by being a 3PL, Amazon is able to have sufficient volume to do this while reducing the cost of delivery. And so this leads to the 4th component, which is price, where Amazon already has great prices, but because they have this algorithm that allows us to always be at the lowest price of stuff in the marketplace. But in addition to that, with their new delivery capability, they're going to reduce the cost of delivery, and that's going to allow them to increase their profitability. They haven't really been profitable for the first 20 years of their existence. They're going to start being very profitable at 16 months. That profit, they're not going to necessarily take back to the shareholders. What they're going to do is they're going to further reduce prices. And so what we see from a customer centricity point of view is Amazon is awesome. Selection, convenience, the experience, and price. They really are doing a great job. But like all things, there's 2 sides to every story. The one side of the story that I've told is that Amazon is awesome at being customer-centric. They are awesome on price, convenience, experience, and selection. The other side of the story is at what price? Customer obsession can have a negative impact on employees and suppliers. How do we achieve the correct balance between customers, suppliers, and employees? Not an easy question, and not one I'll attempt to answer here. But what I must address is how will you respond to Amazon's totally awesome customer centricity? Amazon being the best of the best on price, convenience, selection, and experience, and continually getting better. How will you respond to Amazon focusing its supply chain on customer centricity? Not an easy question, but I know that what you need to do is to answer these questions to develop your customer centricity strategy. First, how are you going to increase selection? How are you going to be working with marketplaces? What are you going to do to enhance your customer promise? What are you doing to take personalization to the next level? How do you improve your customer experience? How are you going to get your inventory local? How are you going to regionalize your final delivery capability by achieving same-day delivery in the top 50 cities, next-day delivery in the next 50 cities, and two-day delivery to your rural customers? What are you going to do to balance your focus between customers, employees, suppliers, shareholders, and the community? What are you doing to making your supply chain a competitive advantage for customer centricity? And then what are you going to do to evolve your customer centricity capabilities to making them a major game changer? The third game changer strategy is omnichannel. The titan doing the best job with omnichannel is Walmart. The most interesting thing about omnichannel is the overwhelming amount of coverage of the subject. Press, white papers, blogs, webinars, videos, speeches, social chatter. The omni-channel noise level has been deafening. The interesting thing about this, with the noise being deafening, but we don't even really know what we're talking about. I don't see a consistent definition of omni-channel. In fact, often I see no definition at all. In fact, the most common definition that I see of omni-channel is here. A retailer connect with consumers any way, anytime, and anywhere the customer desires. This definition is woefully incomplete. The two major problems with the definitions, first of all, omnichannel is not just about retail. Omnichannel applies to wholesalers, manufacturers, distributors, to all organizations that work with multiple channels. Secondly, anyway, anytime, anywhere is just a small portion of what omnichannel is really about. So this definition is wrong. Just like cross-border and customer centricity, the term omnichannel has evolved. And so what we need to do to have a full definition of omnichannel, we need to have a view of the customer, of the retailer or the vendor, of logistics and merchandising. And so here is a robust definition of what omnichannel really means today. From a customer perspective, omnichannel has multiple aspects. Bafara is buy anywhere, fulfill anywhere, and return anywhere. A seamless experience. Customers do not think channels. All your channels need to be consistent. Free shipping and free returns, absolutely required today. Inventory visibility. For customers, sales associates, on the phone, online, we need to know what inventory is available. Loyalty programs, more than just points. Know me, remember me, recognize me. A broad selection, your offering and others via your own marketplace. Unique experience, private label, something special, thrill me. We know omnichannel customers buy more and shop more. We need to exceed these expectations. Then to the retailer or vendor perspective of omnichannel has several requirements. First, seamless inventory. 71% of all shoppers see inventory information as being critical to the purchasing decision, but less than 1/3 of the retailers or vendors can provide this information. Seamless continuous improvement. Learning and continuous improvement must be omnichannel. You learn it in one channel and you deploy it in another. Ready for connected consumers. Customers have mobile devices in hand. Sales associates need to have the same information or more than the customer. Personalized information. Again, know me, remember me, engage me. Mobile wallet. Allow me to pay any way I want. Save a sale. Still a basic, but really important, especially in fashion. localized formats. One size fits one. In South Raleigh, everyone drives pickup trucks. In North Raleigh, everyone has a Mercedes or BMW. So put the BMW parts in North Raleigh and the pickup parts in South Raleigh. Omnichannel retail and vendors is key. 88% of all retailers rely on omnichannel to grow, as traditional single-channel businesses are not driving sales. Next is omnichannel logistics. Wow, I could do a whole video on this one. The highlights: you have to combine your distribution center and your fulfillment center. Distribution to store, fulfillment to customer in one facility, as this is a huge savings in inventory and asset utilization. Return center and liquidation is further combining with the DC and FC. In fact, let's do a DC, FC, RC, LC, an all-in-one, where we have distribution, fulfillment, returns, and liquidation. Get local inventory. In high-density delivery in the top 50 cities to allow same-day delivery. Need inventory to be located in the major cities for delivery. It's a big deal and an opportunity for 3PLs. Speed of delivery. To quickly move orders from get local to customers. Same day in the top 50 cities, next day in the next 50. Order management systems must be omni-channel and consist of order processing and order fulfillment. Drop ship and click and collect. Suppliers providing product directly to your customers and customers picking up their product from your pickup locations. Adaptability in peak seasons. Need to plan for promotions and peaks and omni-channel requirements across the business. Lastly, to achieve omni-channel merchandising. This requires master data management across all channels. Analytics, descriptive analytics, predictive analytics, and prescriptive analytics to understand our customer and their shopping practices. Campaign management. How are we using master data management and analytics to develop omni-channel campaigns for omni-channel customers? Channel inventory allocation. Need inventory to be pre-positioned correctly and dynamically balance supply to demand. Planning and forecasting. Need to be omni-channel, and we need one version of the truth. Social media. Different customers gather information differently. Social media is an important source of information and must be omni-channel. Lastly, private label. Uniqueness begets loyalty, and private label needs to be a strong component in all channels. Research clearly indicates that business is operating with a false sense of confidence with respect to their performance on omnichannel. The reason for this is they don't have a clear definition of what omnichannel is. Their view is oftentimes too small. In fact, in a recent survey, only 5% of the companies indicated they had an executable omnichannel strategy. But there's light at the end of the tunnel. 94% of all the executives in another study said they see substantial obstacles to achieving omnichannel. In another survey, 83% of the CEOs said they felt their supply chain was not able to support an omnichannel strategy. So how big, how important is omnichannel? To answer this question, let me go to a question that a Wal-mart board member asked. He asked, how much time and money will our omnichannel efforts take? The response was given by Neil Ash, Wal-mart's president of global e-commerce. And what Neil said, it will take the rest of our careers and as much money as we've got. This isn't a project. This is about the future of the company. Wow. So what is Wal-mart thinking? Why give this answer? Well, the reason is because they really understand that omni-channel is huge. The customer view, the retailer, the vendor, the logistics, the merchandising, this is really, really big. Now, this isn't saying that Wal-mart has omni-channel completely done, because they don't. But if we look at the history, so in 1962, Sam Walton created Wal-mart. And then what they did between 1962 and 1992 is they added stores, they added countries, they added private label. but then in 1992, Sam Walton died. Then from 1992 to 2007, 15 years, Walmart was asleep. All they did is what they did before. More stores, more countries, more private label. They didn't notice that the world was changing. But in 2007, Asda, a grocery chain that Walmart bought in UK, began to sell on the internet. And that was the beginning of Walmart's awakening. By 2011, Walmart was getting curious as to what's going on. They started noticing things going in China. So in 2011, they made their first investment in Yihaodian. They began to look at what are we doing with respect to click and collect. What are we doing with respect to lockers and home delivery? And by 2012, Asda was doing these things. Walmart got more hungry, and they bought 51% of Yihaodian in 2012. So 2014, Walmart is wide awake. They're doing click and collect. They're looking at localized store formats where they're doing super centers for your stock up, they're doing neighborhood markets for everyday needs, and they're doing express stores for your emergency pickup. Walmart starts using the supercenter's back room as a cross-dock to the neighborhood market and a cross-dock to the express. They're starting to do much more delivery from the store to the consumers who don't want to do click and collect. In 2015, they really become engaged in omni-channel merchandising. And so they're working now with omni-channel customer, omni-channel retailer, and omni-channel merchandising. They invest further in Yihaodian by 100% of Yihaodian. And so what Walmart is doing is they're leveraging their stores. The supply chain organization is taking over control of the back rooms. And so we're seeing a awake Walmart omni-channel. Now, they started late, but they're working very rapidly to catch up. And omni-channel today, Walmart is the leader in the world. And so they've really done a great job. And their strong suit is leveraging their stores. How do we leverage our stores to achieve customer centricity, to achieve a great job with respect to omni-channel? And that's what they're focusing on, and that's what they're looking at. So it's really exciting to see what Walmart is doing. Now, you need to respond to what Walmart is doing from an omni-channel point of view. You need to up your game with omni-channel. I believe your response needs to be an omni-channel strategy. Here are the questions that you need to answer to develop your omni-channel strategy. What do you need to do to become great in all channels? What is your omni-channel strategy and roadmap? How do you leverage stores or other locations to provide for great click and collect? What changes in process, organizational structure, and technology are required to accomplish your omni-channel strategy? What changes in logistics and merchandising are required to accomplish your omni-channel strategy? How to best address channel conflict and not allow it to slow down you being great in omni-channel? How to align your supply chain capabilities with your omni-channel strategy, and how to evolve your omni-channel capabilities to make them a major game changer. We've covered a lot of ground on this video, and the Titans continue the journey. You cannot sit idle. The three game-changing strategies that we've talked on this video of cross-border, customer centricity, and omni-channel are huge. Imagine if your competition does a really cool job on cross-border and you don't respond. Imagine that your competitor puts in place a same-day delivery for 50% of all their customers at a low cost and you don't respond. Imagine that your competition puts in place a robust omni-channel process and you don't respond. We need to grasp cross-border, omni-channel, and customer centricity. This video has laid out for you the groundwork that you need to address these challenges. It's time for you to respond.